Well, it's a massive opportunity, this, for 33-year-old Keith Knox, the butcher from Bonnyrigg. Big support for him here. But I tell you how much of an underdog he starts. He's not ranked in the top 50 at either flyweight or light flyweight by the IBO, but he gets this championship chance. I say it probably shouldn't be happening, but good luck to him. Every boxer deserves a break in this world.
Yes, he's had a few disappointments in his career. He's got the opportunity, however it's come. He's in there, he's got his chance. Now it's down to him to make the most of this chance and make a name for himself.
Tailor the tape for this fight, and there's a good atmosphere now in the arena. They've come to life a bit. Knox is 3 years older. Last chance for him. Garcia at 30. Knox, the smaller man, only 5 feet 3 inches tall. Reach advantage for Garcia as well, both inside the 7 stone 10 pound limit at light flyweight. Garcia's debut 9 years ago, Knox 7 years ago. More fights for the Colombian, and at a better level as well, and a much, much better knockout ratio. He's the one with the power of these two. Work rate might be important for Knox.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lord Provost of Glasgow, this is the main event, the fight of the night. Tommy Gilmore, in association with Ringside Boxing Promotions, proudly presents the IBO Light Flyweight Championship of the World. Sponsored here by L&S Lightfoot Printers Limited of Glasgow, and a very warm welcome to our viewers joining us live and exclusive here on Sky Sports. You've joined us for the very best ringside seat in the business. All the officials have been appointed by the IBO President Ed Levine of Coral Gables, Florida, USA. He has appointed fight supervisor Jerry Woolard of Glasgow. Our 3 scoring judges here at ringside: Judge Richie Davis of England, Judge Roy Francis of England, and Judge Steve Weisfeld of the USA. Our timekeeper at the bell from the Scottish Area Council of the British Boxing Board of Control is Ricky Gilmore of Glasgow. Our referee in charge of the action, and one of the leading referees in the world today, from New Jersey, USA, Tony Orlando. Well, they are the officials, and here are the contestants. Firstly, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the green trunks trimmed with white. Weighing in at 7 stone, 9 pounds, 6 ounces, and bringing a 22-fight record. 13 wins, 4 inside the scheduled distance, 7 losses, 2 draws. He comes to the ring as the former British and Commonwealth flyweight champion. Please welcome, from Bonnyrigg, Keith Knox. And ladies and gentlemen, the champion. He's wearing the blue trunks trimmed with red and weighed in at 7 stone, 9 1/4 pounds. He brings a 29-fight record, 23 wins, 16 inside the scheduled distance, 5 losses and 1 draw. He comes to the ring as the reigning and defending IBO Light Flyweight Champion of the World from Colombia. Please welcome Jose Guillermo Garcia. Well, sports fans and Sky fans, let's get the action underway then. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBO Light Flyweight Championship of the World.
Center ring, gentlemen. Okay, you received my instructions in the dressing room. You know the rules of the IBO. Therefore, I expect a clean, professional fight. I want you to touch gloves, go back to your corner.
Well, can Keith Knox surpass himself here? He's coming off a 6-round defeat by Delroy Spencer at the York Hall in Bethnal Green last December. Arrived tonight with pictures of his children to inspire him in his kit bag, in the green trunks, trying to do it for Scotland, in Scotland. Keith Knox, the blue of the experienced Colombian Jose Garcia, the textile worker from Barranquilla, which was where Fidel Bassa came from. He was in that great fight many years ago with Dave Boy McCauley, an unforgettable fight in Belfast. We get anything like that here, we're in for a treat. Great right hand there from Garcia, who has mixed at pretty good level for WBA crowns. Much higher level than Knox, who looked a bit disorganized as that right hand landed. Picking the punches well, the Colombian, who has to start a hot favorite, Glenn.
Yes, he does. He picked a good punch out, and I think that just hurt Knox a little bit. This is a big step up from Knox, and Knox needs a good start.
Knox looks uncomfortable early. One or two grimaces as those punches landed. Stone-faced, hard man from Colombia, who's actually ranked number 17 on the independent rankings, which is not too bad at all. Blocked that right hand with the glove, despite the cheers from the Scottish fans at the back of the hall. Punch didn't land. But Garcia has been stopped 3 times, and he has been beaten 5 times. There may be hope for Knox there. Knox usually likes to walk forward, body shot cracking in from the Colombian. This is another level again for Knox, and it's come pretty late in his career too. He says he's trained like he's never trained before, and he's urged the crowd here in the local paper, the Glasgow Evening Times tonight, to raise the rafters. Well, they're not exactly doing that. They're a very quiet lot here, aren't they?
Yes, they are a pretty quiet crowd. He needs really the crowd to get behind him. He's got to raise his game quite a bit.
Yeah, they need to let this Colombian know that he's fighting a long way from home. There have been noisier funeral parlors than this.
Well, he needs to get his confidence, Knox. He needs a good start of this, just not quite getting into it.
Likes to walk forward all the time. Knox. Unlucky against Mickey Cantwell in a British title fight. Luckier against Damien Kelly when he won on cuts to win British and Commonwealth crowns. Lost those titles to Jason Booth. It was the Colombian's first round.
Right. Give us some water, please. Don't be that. The left hand. Go ahead. Okay? Right. José, este round estuvo bien, pero tienes que trabajar más, ¿oíste? Más con el 1-2, más con el jab, más con el 1-2, sobre todo cuando él te entra, que tú entras con el recto derecha.
Jose Garcia, nicknamed William Tell or Guillermo Tell as it translates. He's obviously very accurate.
Well, I'm not sure about the nickname, but yep, he was pretty accurate at the beginning of the round. There's a couple of good punches. That right hand, took a bit out of Knox, I think, and he never quite seemed to show much confidence in the first round.
Here's round 2, due to go 12 for this IBO Light Flyweight title. We don't have this division in Britain, but they do worldwide, and there's a big star, the Mexican Ricardo Lopez, who's quite brilliant if you ever get the chance to see him. But these guys are lighter than most jockeys. Just looking a bit wild with his shots early is Knox. Nice straight right from Garcia. And yeah, Knox does get through for the first time with a cracking right hand. That was a good shot. That might lift him. How good is this Colombian? That's what we have to assess here. He's obviously useful, but is he a man from a completely different planet in boxing terms?
Furious punches from both of them inside. But I think Knox respects his power. He lifts the head of Knox up.
Just trying to wear him down. Sheer desire from Keith Knox. He's never short in that department. There's blood coming from Knox's mouth. Again, a good right hand from him. Garcia just getting a little more careless himself. Knox enjoying slightly more success, but still the more eye-catching punches coming from Garcia. Like that short little right, that was a class shot.
Yes, he's picking his shots very well. There's damage to the face, that's the nose and the mouth of Knox. And I think these punches are taking a bit out of Knox.
Well, he's got 16 knockouts on his record, Garcia. Knox has only got 4. That tells you something about the difference in power. I think he's a quite hurtful puncher, this fella. And Knox is feeling that power. Well, a bit wild, to put it mildly, that, from Knox, head down, wading forward. As the Aussies might say, it's a big ask for Keith Knox, this.
Yes, he's walking onto a few shots. Sharp right hand there from Garcia.
Just the classier shots coming from the Colombian. Knox hoping he might just get lucky with one haymaker, turn things around somehow. Early on, the signs don't look good for him, if we're honest with you.
Yes, he's coming in with his head down, almost not looking, just hoping to get lucky. Knox.
It's another Garcia round.
Estamos llevando bien la pelea, José. ¿Sabes? La estamos llevando bien, le estás pegando bien con la derecha. Le estás esperando, da pasitos atrás. ¿Oíste? Cuando se te venga con el recto, hazle bloqueo. Y búscalo con el recto derecha, por abajo de la izquierda. O pasito atrás, le mete los ganchos. Uppercut largo, uppercut largo. Uppercut izquierda, recto derecha, o uppercut de derecha, recto izquierda.
More live cricket for you coming on Friday morning as we begin our exclusively live coverage of the one-day international series between Sri Lanka and England. The first one-day international starting 3:45 Friday morning, live only on Sky Sports 2. Keith Knox looks to have his hands full here. Glenn and Ian.
You can say that again, Paul, he really does. But flyweight's been a great division for the Scots down the years. Tansy Lee, Jackie Patterson, Benny Lynch, Walter McGowan, Pat Clinton, Paul Weir at flyweight or light flyweight have all made it to World Championship level.
Hey, I don't want to see that stuff, understand? Don't do it. Okay? Let's be professional. Don't do it.
Didn't like something there. Tony Orlando, the referee.
Yeah, it's just a bit of punching when they're holding in close.
Little warning as well for Knox, he's on the case, the American referee. 2 British judges, 1 American if it does go the full 12 rounds.
Well, just a bit untidy at the beginning of this round. Knox not able to get any good work going.
Good body shots on the inside from Garcia. He doesn't look sensational or anything, does he, this Colombian? But he does, at the moment, you'd have to say, look a notch or 2 above Knox.
Yes, he does. He's not getting a chance to get his work going a bit because Knox crowding it, making it a bit messy. But he does look a little league up.
Step back, step back.
It's actually managed by Billy Chams, who used to handle Fidel Basser all those years ago. Good right hands from Knox. Not much head movement there from the Colombian.
Yes, sometimes he just leaves a gap when he throws his left hand. Garcia.
Punch out of there. Come on, work out.
Well, he keeps on coming forward bravely, Keith Knox, but when he does it, he looks very, very wild and is missing with an awful lot of shots. It's pressure of a kind, but it's not educated pressure. And there's a clash of heads, it's blood. Blood by the side of the head for Garcia now. Well, that was bound to happen, really, the way Knox comes in, head first, almost like a bull.
Yes, he's coming in with that head down, not really looking, and Garcia needs to pick the right punches. He's not trying the uppercut. That would work well against Knox.
He's a rough fighter, this Keith Knox. His style is going to lead to opponents getting cut, as it did against Damien Kelly, who got horrendous cuts and had to be pulled out of the fight. That was how Knox became a British and Commonwealth champion. But he's had bad luck in his career too, so it kind of evens out.
Well, his game is trying to come forward, Knox, for the work, very ineffective.
José va ganando la pelea, José. ¿Oíste? José.
Orlando Pineda is the main man in the corner, and that's Billy Cham's son Alberto, who I was talking to last night over here. Also working in the corner. Went to see Celtic and Kilmarnock at the weekend in the big final up here.
Well, the heads banging together, and that time Knox came off worse, but they both, you know, the heads rattling together. And Garcia, he's got the cut.
Tough little man, quite obviously. He lost only 10 out of 86 as an amateur, and he went to the pre-Olympic tournament in Argentina for the Barcelona Olympics, but lost there, so there was no Olympic dream for him. Won this title against Jose Sanjuanelo. He was on the floor in that fight, got up to win, and he broke the other guy's jaw in 2 places, and apparently swallowed one of his own teeth in the fight. Garcia's corner have been complaining to the referee that the cut was caused by Knox's elbow.
Garcia not getting as good work on, just Knox nullifying his work a little bit with his pressure, but Knox needs to be more accurate.
Just hasn't looked so good in the last couple of rounds, Garcia. You'd have to say he'd won them. What can Keith Knox do here? He just has to be a little bit more controlled and steady, rocked by a left hook.
And the amazing thing about this fight is the silence. It's very, very quiet in here.
Which does not help Keith Knox. He needs the crowd to be stomping their feet, making a racket. And I think that would unsettle Garcia a little, because it's a tight little arena, this new arena. But there's 1,400 of them in here, and they're absolutely quiet. Half the time you could hear a pin drop. Walking forward, but walking into punches, Knox. That's his problem.
Yeah, he's got his head down. He's not really looking at Garcia. No, he can't see the shots.
Watch your heads. Let's go.
Watch the use of the heads. It's busy all night for referee Tony Orlando's come a long way since he was tying all those yellow ribbons around trees. If you're old enough to remember Dawn, probably not. Glenn obviously isn't.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you rarely do. Getting messy, isn't it, here now?
Very messy. Not a lot of punches landing cleanly.
And he's just trying to wear his man down, pinning him on the ropes. Now the crowd are making a bit of a racket. Cut by the left eye, developing of Garcia. Just starting, a little nick. Nothing much at the moment.
Well, he's so very wild there, Knox.
I think Garcia's very careful about clashes of heads here. That could easily happen. I'm surprised he hasn't had more of a warning about diving in like this head first, Keith Knox.
pelear, marica. El hombre se te está viniendo encima y te está reventando por la cabeza. Tú estás enterrando la cabeza del lado derecho. Tú estás más fresco que él, tú no le oyes la respiración a ese hombre. ¿Ah? ¿No le estás oyendo la respiración a ese hombre? Entonces, ¿tú no sales a pelear? Por la izquierda, bota ahí.
Welcome back, light flyweight champions. Always the men from the Far East, Central and South America are the bosses traditionally at this level, and Ricardo Lopez is a real class act. Beautiful to watch, isn't he?
Yes, he is a star. And if you look through all the divisions, he really stands out. Ricardo Lopez, superb fighter.
And sometimes gets paid less than women fighters on the bill, like Christy Martin. Mad. Don't write into me, please. But he is a world champion. Blue trunks, remember here, of Jose Garcia, defending his IBO Light Flyweight title.
Well, Knox is managing to, or he managed in the last round to nullify the work of Garcia without doing anything really that good of his own.
Garcia, the last couple of rounds, hasn't looked especially impressive himself, has he?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't really looked like he knows how to deal with this untidy style of Knox.
I must say, early on, I had the impression, first couple of rounds, that Knox was going to get stopped and quite quickly, but this is beginning to settle into a long argument by the look of it now.
Yes, it looks that way. After the first round, it looks like he had a bit of power and he was going to unsettle Knox. But Knox is just clawing his way into the fight a bit.
He's very wild. He has a habit of pulling faces in there, as if you think he's in trouble, Knox, and blowing. He's not exactly poker-faced, but that's just his way, his own idiosyncrasy. Walked onto a right hand, Knox there. Good jabs, doubling up from the Colombian, who's obviously has the more orthodox style of the two. Probably more natural at the weight too than Knox, who really is a flyweight coming down. That's from 8 stone to 7 stone 10. The other fellas boxed at straw weight, that's 7.5 stone. Easy to make weight where he comes from. It's 100 degrees every day, they tell me, in Barranquilla, all year round.
Yeah, might have been a light flyweight in that case.
No, I doubt it. I doubt it. You had enough trouble making cruiser.
All right, break, no punching. Come on, break.
Swarming style from Knox. Walking forward, head down, sometimes maybe not even seeing his opponent, throwing leather, hoping to land somehow. You won't find that in any of the textbooks, but sometimes it works. It has for him in the past.
He's missed an awful lot. Knox, Garcia's landed a couple of nice little sharp punches, but Garcia not really landing that well either.
So let's get another Scottish fighter's view of this. Gary Jacobs with Adam Smith.
Well, Gary, it looked like Keith Knox was going to get taken out very early on, but he's dug his teeth in and he's doing better.
Yeah, I think it was the nerves. It was like the first round. It was a world title fight. It got the better. I mean, he took a wee clip in the chin. It looked as if he was going to go, but he settled down. He settled in there, and obviously anything that Garcia throws at him is not really affecting him. So he's getting into the fight more and more. A little bit wild, flailing away with punches.
It's not easy for Garcia, though, is it, when he comes in with his head like that and elbows, Keith?
Certainly not. I mean, it's like you do all you can do to win. I mean, if that's what he's going to do to win, then. But he's landing a little bit short and he's getting caught in with the counters. But he's still in the fight.
Thanks very much, Gary.
Thank you.
Gary Jacobs, who was unlucky not to become a world champion himself for Scotland in his career, and he fought the best guys around like Bernal Whitaker late in his career. Green trunks here, Keith Knox, 33 years of age. That is pretty old, really, for a guy at light flyweight, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But you know, he's trying to work away. He's getting into the fight a bit more. He needs more effective punches. He's been a bit too wild.
Go on. Right. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
But I must say, I'm not especially impressed by this Jose Garcia, the IBO's champion. He doesn't look anything special, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's certainly not impressing.
This is for one of the lesser world championships, it has to be said, and I'm afraid to tell you, at the moment, it's looking like that, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And just there, Knox getting a bit of success, landing a right hook and a left hook.
Out of range twice with the jab. Knox, and again, really dangerous work with the head. And Garcia managed to get his head out of the way of it.
Right. Come on.
But I think Garcia just looks a bit uncomfortable and ruffled by the way this fella keeps on charging at him at about, well, what seems to be 90 miles an hour.
Yes, he doesn't seem to have the answer for the style of Knox. And he's just starting to struggle a bit. Knox landed a few more shots in this round.
Got him with a right hand there. And Garcia and his corner will have to be mindful of the fact that they're boxing away from home. Probably can't expect very many favours from the judges.
Break. Come on, you tied up. Let's go. What the fuck? Break. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's go.
Not the old snap in Garcia's punches that there was in the first round or two.
Break.
Just switching there to lead with the right for a moment. Gone southpaw, which is a sign that he feels he needs to do something different. Now that was better. A classy little right hand from him. And this has just confused Knox for a moment. Switch hitting from Garcia.
There is so many punches missing from both men.
Garcia did have a good last half minute.
Pick your shots, get in here first, don't wait on him. He's picking you, you're le pega, pero usa la izquierda. Punch your hands down here. Get in first,
Welcome back. The Bellahouston area of Glasgow tonight at the brand new sports arena here. Garcia has landed significantly more punches so far, and I have him in a decent lead.
Yeah, I've got him in a lead as well, but he's not looking the fighter that you thought he would be. You know, he's more experienced, got more knockouts. He looked better in the first round, but has never really done anything since then that's caught the eye.
Garcia in the blue trunks. Maybe looking to step it up a bit here at the start of this round. Warning for Knox about rabbit punching.
Stop. Come on, let him go. Punch out. All right, stop.
Garcia does have a win over Noel Arambulet, who went on to beat him in a rematch when the WBA strawweight title was on the line. That was hard luck on Garcia. Good body shot from Knox. You've got to give him credit, really, for his desire. He's a warning there, but watch that head work, says the referee. Another time I'm going to take a point off, so he's skating on thin ice a bit out there now, Knox.
Yes, he does come down with that. That head really is low, and that's a danger.
Good doubling up with the jab. That's better from Knox. That time he looked at the target and rammed in a couple of jabs. Crowd just beginning to get a bit more interested, and the cut by the left eye gets worse for Garcia. Well, he's beginning to get some success. The style may look a bit agricultural, but it's troubling Garcia.
Yes, Garcia's starting to land a few decent shots inside there. He really needs to lift his work rate.
Good jab again. Again, the warning about use of the heads. Inside of the glove slap, really, from Knox there. He does that a fair bit too.
Another punch landed from Knox.
Knox looks like the kind of guy you'd want on your side on a Glasgow street corner on a Saturday night, doesn't he, too?
Yeah, he's a rough little handful. Glove on that head and he'd get a few more points.
He just tripped over his own feet there, Garcia. Crowd got excited. Again goes southpaw. This round ends, but well, Knox worked hard in that round and might have nicked it.
You're going to lose the fight. If you hit him once at the back of the head, you're going to lose the fight. You understand me? Can you teach yourself not to do it then?
George Borden, Benny King.
Get some water. Put your head on, shut your eyes.
Well, they're telling him, watch that head work because it's going to cost you on the scorecard.
Yeah, well, he's due a point deduction. He has come in with a head all the time.
Watch your head, okay? Watch your head. Watch it
Garcia still way ahead on the computer in terms of punches landed. Knox with only a 14% success rate. Look how many he's thrown, 391. He's landed just 58.
Yeah, that is poor success rate. He's not getting the punches on.
And this is round 8. Steve Weisfeld of the USA, one of the judges with Roy Francis and Richie Davis, two experienced British referees, scoring. Again, the heads nearly banging together. Again, the referee having to make the point. How close is Keith Knox from having a point deducted? I would suggest very close.
Well, he's warned them time and time again and hasn't made that deduction. He's been very lucky so far, Knox.
Again, switching to lead with the right hand. Going southpaw, Garcia. You're right, though. So many punches have missed tonight. But Knox is certainly landing with a greater proportion of punches now. He claims that that was a rabbit punch, Garcia. I didn't think so. I thought it caught him fair and square around the side of the head.
Yeah, that looked like an okay right hand. But really what he's managed to do, Knox, he's managed to unsettle Garcia. Garcia can't get his boxing going. He's worried about the head that much, you know, and he's lost all his own style.
Hold it, stop! Stop!
Good little sharp right hand. More blood from that cut to the head now for Garcia.
Well, time and time again, he comes in with that head down, and really the referee just seems completely oblivious, or doesn't want to give him a point reduction.
Keith Knox should have had a point deducted by now, I think. for coming in with his head down like this. It's a messy kind of fight, and to be honest with you, to call this a World Championship fight in the sense that we know it is a gross exaggeration.
Yes, it's got a tag to it, IBO, but you know, when you look at the people in the world, there's an awful lot above these two. So to give it a world tag is not really fair.
But there you go, that's the business we're in. Well, suddenly, the crowd come to life. We're getting Flower of Scotland now.
It's either that or playing a tape in the background, but there's some nice come from somewhere.
It's a good idea, even if it was the tape. Well, there are some Keith Knox fans probably come over from his home area of Bonnie Rig down the M8. Now then, Garcia claimed he was hit by a punch behind the head, a rabbit punch here.
Well, yeah, it wasn't, but I think the head, most of all. Look at the head landing in to Garcia, the side of his head. And I think maybe it was that he was complaining about.
Garcia was one of the guys that fought you, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's still on my mind.
Pero síguelo, acósalo. Tienes que tirar y tirar y tirar. Tienes que ganar en estos 4 rounds.
Orlando Pineda. They mean business, this camp. They arrived 8 days ago. And this title obviously is worth a few bob to him, but he's had to defend it away from home, I guess, because nobody's interested financially in putting on a defence in Colombia.
Yeah, that's probably the case. So he's happy to get a defence and happy to travel.
Round 9. It's due to go 12. Knox given this opportunity by the IBO, despite the fact he's not in the top 50. Caught by a little right hand there, and again, just looking a shade disorganised. This is better from Garcia, better accuracy from him.
Yeah, it's had some decent success when he's turned to the southpaw stance. Gotta say he does that quite well.
Let go, work out. Break. Step back, please.
Well, you've got to give Keith Knox a kind of credit for all his failings. He's no textbook boxer, but he wants this very, very badly at the end of an up and down sort of career, and he's giving it absolutely everything he knows within his limited scope.
Yes, that's right. You've got to give him credit for that. He's trying hard.
This is a bit better from Garcia in this round. More accuracy and a little more lateral movement, which I think he's cried out for in this contest, but it doesn't appear to be his style. He's quite happy to stand in front of Knox, and of course that suits the Scotsman very well. Now that he walked onto a right hand, Knox. Again, he says to Knox, watch head movement, and there's still no point deduction.
Yeah, it's quite amazing that you can be warned that many times and still not get a point deducted.
He's looking a little tired there, Knox. He's trying to keep on ploughing forward. He's never heard a reverse gear quite clearly. They didn't fit one when they made this model.
Well, it's worked well in nullifying the work of Garcia. He hasn't really got set, hasn't managed to land his punches, and I think the work of Knox has frustrated Garcia.
Good right hand from Knox there, getting in close. That's probably where he needs to be. He might enjoy a bit more success rather than flinging in his punches from a long way out. Breathing heavily though.
But the action is quite poor. I am very disappointed with Garcia. He's not been able to handle the style of Knox at all.
Yeah, it has to be said, it's a low-grade championship fight, this. I wonder what Gary Jacobs is making of it.
Gary, it's messy and it seems extremely tough in there, but Keith Knox, despite his limited skills, is giving it everything here.
He's giving it the best he knows. It's all he can do. He's flailing away in there. But I think, you know, just getting caught, getting tagged, very dangerous with a head. And it's like he's very lucky that he's not even been, never mind deducted a point. He's lucky he's still in the ring.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been warmed time and time again, hasn't he?
And it's just unfortunate. It's just the style. It's just the way he knows how to get in. He obviously doesn't know how to get in behind the jab, and he's coming in behind the head, I think.
Garcia surely a mile ahead on the cards.
Yeah, I think so. I think he just has to sort of stay out of trouble and make sure he doesn't get any other sort of serious clash of heads that could put him out there.
Points victory for him.
Yeah, it's looking that way.
6 points in it on Glenn's card, a bit less on mine, but there's no doubt, I think, that Garcia is winning this fight. Not looking exactly $1 million himself in doing it, mind you. I think it has to be said, it's a blow to the credibility of the IBO that they've actually sanctioned Keith Knox to fight for their World Championship, isn't it, when he's not even in their top 50. I take nothing away from Keith. Good luck to him. He's had some bad breaks in his career. It's a good payday and a good chance. It's not his fault, but the IBO shouldn't have done this, I don't think.
No, they shouldn't. I mean, the rules should be if you're in the top 10, you get a shot when you're miles away. You know, how can you possibly, you know, it's just like a raffle. You know, if you give somebody, and you know, you've got to, in this case, not, you know, Knox is keeping himself in the fight, but you know, when they continue to rank people miles away and give them world titles, that's where accidents happen. That's where fighters suddenly get in out of their depth and can get hurt.
Well, he's showing no signs of getting hurt here, exactly. Knox, he's giving it a right good go. But technically, he looks ill-equipped to be fighting at championship level, really, on the world scene anyway.
But then saying that, Jose Garcia wants to stay well away from Ricardo Lopez.
He does. Yes, he doesn't look a top 10 fighter himself. Mind you, I think everybody wants to give Ricardo Lopez a fairly wide berth, don't they?
Yeah. Well, another warning for Keith Knox. Something different this time, but
Knox does get there with a right hand.
All right, break. Step back.
It's been a fierce, intense effort, this, from Keith Knox. Had to give up his job in the butcher's shop in Bonnyrigg to concentrate on the fight, and the foot and mouth outbreakers meant he's found it hard to get the beef he needs for his diet. Certainly no shortage of energy in there from him. Cuts worse by the left eye of Garcia, appreciably worse. Suddenly, I don't know if there was another clash of heads in there, might have been.
Well, again, the referee talks to Knox.
It'll be interesting to see what caused that cut to worsen so quickly. Yeah, that's a nasty gash now. Lucky it's this late in the fight for Garcia. Let's have a look.
Well, heads rubbing together again. It could be that. I mean, I think if I had been in the Garcia corner, I would have been absolutely raving at the referee. A very poor performance from him. He's allowed Knox to get away with head work all night long.
Well, they're not the raving kind of camp, are they? Because they're quite happy to even come in the ring first.
Yeah, they're very happy for anything, just make a few pounds, and you know, they're happy.
I think, quite honestly, they are. They're grateful of the pay night.
Yeah,
I think that is the fact of By the way, the ruling is that the cut has been caused accidentally, in which case if it was stopped now because of the cut, they'd go to the scorecards and you'd think Garcia must be a mile ahead. Belatedly, the Scottish crowd coming to life with a few verses of Flower of Scotland, but really Knox could have done with more of this a bit earlier, but quite honestly, you know, the crowd can't get in the ring and fight for him.
Yeah, I think somebody's just told the crowd that they're allowed to make a noise, so they've suddenly come alive. Cut looking a bit worse again in this round.
I think they've been the quietest crowd I remember since seeing Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson in the Tokyo Dome, when the inscrutable Japanese sat there clapping like it was a test match through all the drama. It was incredible. It's a weird one because Scottish fans are usually so passionate. Again, head clash. Good right hand from Knox. Garcia's cut looks worse again, but we are in round 11 of 12 now. I think that's going to hold up. And even if it doesn't, as I explained, they'd go to the scorecards and he would probably keep his title that way. Unless, of course, the judges are seeing and scoring something completely different.
Well, it is, in fairness, an awful fight to score. There's very little good work, very little skill.
It's not the greatest fight to watch either, is it, frankly?
It's a terrible fight to watch, in fairness.
Got to be honest about these things. But that cut is bad, and Knox gets there again and rubs his head in the wound. Now then, is he going to get a point deducted? I think he'd have to landmine the ring to get a point deducted, Knox. Certainly some liberal use of the head there. Garcia's face is a mess.
To be honest, I think in a lot of places with a lot of referees, Knox would have been thrown out now.
He could have been disqualified, yeah. Yes, quite easily. But maybe the American referee doesn't fancy doing that to a Scottish fighter in Scotland.
Maybe not.
And there goes the bell to end round 11, 3 minutes left. Knox is trying to G up the crowd. Let's see what they say. There's the rather generous Mr. Tony Orlando from the United States. He is generous too.
You wouldn't want to see him referee a Mike Tyson fight, would you?
No, I think he's unlikely to get that assignment anytime soon.
My word. He'd be apologising to Mike.
Mind you, would he want it?
No, I don't think he would.
Here, there's the more head gouging at close range. Garcia's landed double the number of punches. There's 3 minutes left. He's almost got a jar of grease on that eye, isn't he? I think that's too much too.
Yeah, he needs it. It's a bad cut on that eye.
Last round, Keith Knox has put in a sterling effort for Scotland, and he's made it uncomfortable for Garcia, but we think he's well behind.
Yeah,
the judges.
He's tried hard, Knox. Give him credit for that. He's trying to do the best he can under the circumstances.
Tommy Gilmore, the manager and promoter for Knox, on the far side, trying to guide him in. Garcia goes southpaw again. They're trying to wave him in again. He gets there with the right hand twice, Knox. Garcia has not impressed this champion. hasn't really had that much of a clue in how to deal with this walk-forward, wild bull style of Keith Knox. And there's another clash of heads.
Well, that's been the story of the fight. The crowd are getting animated, getting noisy. Somebody's even...
Better pass the aspirin, I think. It's a bold effort from Knox in this last round.
Well, somebody's found the bagpipes out there as well.
Yes, that's another tape.
Well, he's trying very hard, Knox. He is.
He is.
He's rallying. He wants it desperately. He's trying to get it.
Garcia thumps in some body punches. It's all pretty wild stuff. A lot missing. Good shots, two of them from Garcia. But he has hardly taken a backward step all night, Keith Knox. Misses by a country mile with the right hand twice. That was almost like a man in the fog, wasn't it, that?
Yeah, just desperate to land a shot on Garcia.
But we've seen it many times before, no telling how the judges will see it. I mean, Knox fighting on home territory.
No, we learn never to second guess the judges.
Last quarter of a minute. Both of them wearing the scars of what's been a fairly unsatisfactory battle, this. Not a great night for the IBO, though they might have one when Naz meets Pereira on April the 7th. It's all over. They both raised their arms aloft. I think Knox probably won that last round.
Yeah, I do as well. Maybe he's pulled it back a little bit with the last 3 rounds. I think I give to Knox just on effort. Not a great deal of skill, but he really wanted it a lot.
Punches landed. According to the computer, this is. Must be a very eagle-eyed computer, but it's 194 for Garcia, 102 for Knox. Twice as good a success rate for the Colombian. But frankly, he struggled. He's not among the top light flyweights in the world and made very, very heavy weather of it. And we wait to see how the scorecards of Mr. Roy Francis and Richie Davis from Great Britain and Steve Weisfeld of the United States, how they read. All being brought together now. There's Glenn's scorecard. You've got it by 3 points for Garcia, and I have it by 2.
So you never know. You never know.
You never know. I mean, Knox is at home.
Yep.
I mean, we're not making any comment at all about the judges when we say that. Far from it. They've got all the respect in the world, certainly for Roy Francis and Richie Davis as very good officials. I don't know about Steve Weisfeld of the United States. We're just speaking from experience. Hometown, it counts in your favour. Let's just see how this does work out.
Okay, let's have the...
It would be an absolutely astonishing story if Keith Knox, coming off a defeat at the York Hall in Bethnal Green last time, beaten 7 times in his career against 13 wins and a couple of draws, wins a version of a world title at 33. But we don't think so. But let's see. We await John McDonald's announcement. Whether he's quite ready to make it yet, I'm not sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 championship rounds of boxing, we have a split decision. Judge Roy Francis scores a contest of 117-113 in favor of Garcia. Stephen Weisfeld, he scores a contest 115-114 in favor of Knox. Judge Richie Davis scores a contest 116-113 in favor of. And still, the IBO Light Flyweight champion of the world, Garcia.
And I think that's the right decision. The two British judges, fair play to them. I thought Roy Francis and Richie Davis would see that sensibly, and they did. 4 points on Francis's card, 3 on Richie Davis. It was the American judge who gave that somehow to Keith Knox. And take nothing away from Keith's effort. He tried as hard as he possibly could, but Garcia is the rightful winner and still champion.
We call upon our fight supervisor, Jerry.
Just for a minute, we had to stop and listen carefully. No question for you, though, Jim, was there, about the decision?
No, definitely not, definitely not. But in years to come, Keith Knox will have on his CV that he boxed for a world title and lost a split decision, and I'm very pleased for him. But it was a poor world championship fight, and Garcia is a very poor champion.
Jim, thanks very much indeed. One career high point, though, here tonight. Well done to Alex Moon of Liverpool. Best win of his whole career. Charlie Shepherd thought he'd done enough.